The Honourable van der Merwe.
Honourable Speaker, allow me to quickly greet one of my best friends in the gallery, Erika Joubert. She's here with one of her colleagues, Ms. Mona Lisa Bango. Ms. Bango runs an NGO. She's a community activist and she is passionate about the empowerment of young women. We salute you, Ms. Bango, and we welcome you to Parliament for your very first time. Honourable Speaker, each year we rise to this podium to say the same things. We quote the very same statistics. We lament the very same challenges. We lament our government's inaction, and we speak about this lawless country of ours like there's some type of normality to it. We remember those we've lost. We wear black to honor them. We remember our babies and our grandmothers that have been raped and killed. We remember our daughters and our sisters murdered on the killing fields of the Cape Flats. We remember them, and we pledge that things must change. But the reality is nothing has changed since we last stood at this podium to debate Women's Day a year ago. Nothing has changed because what is missing from these debates year after year is action, outrage, urgency, political will, change and resources. We know that the system is failing our women. We know that NGOs and shelters go unfunded, and we know that police stations don't have rape kits. We know the scale of the crisis. We know, yet nothing has changed in the last year. Speaker, we face a national crisis. To make matters worse, as Joburg burns, as Pretoria burns, as our trucking industry burns, we've yet to hear from the President of this Republic. It is against this background that I had great difficulty in preparing for today's debate. In part because I felt a deep sense of hopelessness after the news of Unene's death. And Unene didn't die in a dangerous part of our country. She didn't die walking the streets late at night. She didn't die in a club and she didn't die in a pub. She died collecting a parcel at what is perceived to be a safe space, a post office. Like many South Africans, I feel angry because we live in a lawless country where criminals are in charge and where our lives mean nothing. I feel despair because instead of offering us hope and offering us interventions, our government offers us condolences instead. And I have to ask, how many more South Africans have to die before our government finally listens and acts? And in the midst of my despair, I was moved by the example of one government that cared, one that listened. Sierra Leone's president recently declared rape and sexual violence a national emergency in his country. He responded to a national outcry. I believe it's time for us to follow his example and do the same. It is time to accept that we too face a national emergency. Until we declare the lawlessness that has besieged South Africa as a national crisis and treat it as such, justice will not prevail. But that should only be a start. We need a costed, concrete plan to fight gender-based violence now. We need to support our NGOs and fund our shelters. I recognize that government cannot do all of this on their own, and each of us have got a role to play. At our recent elective conference, the IFP committed to launch a massive campaign in defense and on behalf of the most vulnerable. We did so because we know that the face of poverty, the face of exclusion, the face of struggle and despair is female. Like every other woman in our country, I have to ask you, our government, am I next, or will it be one of you? Or will you finally have the courage to govern, the courage to act, the courage to care, and the courage to do what is right? I thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.